All right, welcome back to Exposing Entrapment or Stinging Back, the podcast where we break down the truth behind online sting operations and challenge the narratives that law enforcement and vigilantes push. I'm M.
And I'm A. Today, we're diving into a crucial issue: how police and vigilante groups are misusing adult hookup platforms to lure men into sexual conversations, then suddenly shifting the narrative to claim they're minors. This practice isn't just deceptive, it's fundamentally flawed and manipulative.
Yeah, and to start, let's talk about the actual environment where these operations take place. We're talking about adult hookup sites and apps. These platforms are built for consenting adults to meet for casual encounters, relationships, or whatever they're looking for. There are terms of service in place that require users to be 18 or older.
Right. Anyone on these platforms has already declared themselves an adult and just to have an account. So they claim to be an adult. That's the key. No actual minor is going to announce their real age to strangers after already lying to gain access.
So when a decoy on one of these platforms suddenly claims, oh, by the way, I'm underage, it's a complete shift in context. What was a conversation between two adults suddenly turns into a trap. That's not how actual predators operate.
And this is where we need to discuss age play, which is a real and consensual role play dynamic that happens between adults. These platforms are the perfect place for it. Some adults enjoy playing younger roles, and that's not illegal when it's between two consenting adults.
Yet, law enforcement and vigilante groups are exploiting this. They start by posing as an adult looking for an adult encounter. Then, after initiating sexual conversations and engaging the other party, they suddenly drop the I'm actually underage claim. At that point, the person they targeted is already deep into the chat and reacting in real time.
This kind of setup makes it impossible for the accused to have sought out a minor because they thought they were talking to another adult the entire time. The real predator isn't looking for someone who presents as an adult. They're actively seeking minors in spaces designed to attract them.
That's another major flaw in this sting operations. In actual cases of child exploitation, the adult predator is the one introducing the idea of sexual activity with the minor. They're the one pushing for it.
But in these things, it's the decoy, the person claiming to be underage who's soliciting the sexual conversation and pushing for a meetup. That's completely backwards. A minor who's being exploited isn't out there hunting down random adult men to hook up with. That's just now how these situations unfold in reality.
Right, a minor who's being lured or groomed online is being manipulated by an actual predator who initiates the inappropriate contact, not the other way around. And let's be honest, if a real predator did want to find minors, an adult only online dating platform is the worst place to look.
Exactly. Minors don't just announce their real age to strangers online, especially after having to lie to access the site in the first place. That's why this whole premise is ridiculous. The people being caught in these things are not predators. They're set up through deception and manipulation.
And the scariest part? Law enforcement isn't just passively waiting to see if someone is interested in minors. They're actively luring people into these conversations, soliciting them and baiting them.
That's what makes it entrapment. If you have to create the crime for it to exist, then there wasn't a real crime to begin with.
So let's sum this up. First, these stings happen on adult only platforms, meaning no real minor could be involved. Second, the decoys start as adults, then suddenly claim to be minors after engaging in sexual conversations. The decoys, not the men being targeted, are the ones introducing and soliciting the sexual activity. And finally, real predators don't look for minors in places where they'd have to pose as adults to interact.
And that's why these operations are so dangerous. They don't protect children, they manufacture criminals. They don't target real predators, they trap regular people who believed they were engaging with another consenting adult.
This is an illegal and unethical disaster, and it needs to stop.
If you agree, share this episode. Get the conversation going. The more people understand what's happening, the harder it will be for these deceptive stings to continue unchecked.
Now, thanks for tuning in to the Exposing Entrapment. Until next time, stay informed, stay critical, and stay fighting for justice.
Thank you for listening.